So whatever policies you believe in, you have to fight for it. And sometimes you might have a temporary loss. I had a loss of 10 years, incarceration, for something that I didn't do. I was defending a friend, and a friend turned around and said, hey, it was him. And it wasn't me, it was, according to the witnesses, one witness said Diddy shot him.
In hip-hop, one hit can change your entire life. One song can make you famous overnight. The money comes, the fans come, the interviews come, and suddenly everyone knows your name. But what happens when all of that disappears? Some rappers didn't slowly fade away. They seemed to vanish right when they were at the top. So where did they go? And what actually happened to their careers? Fetty Wap. In 2015, Fetty Wap was everywhere. His debut single, Trap Queen, went from a viral hit to a massive international success. The song reached #2 on the Billboard Hot 100, and suddenly, Fetty wasn't just another rapper from New Jersey, he was a superstar. Then came more hits: 679, My Way, and Again. His self-titled debut album debuted at #1, and Fetty looked like he was building a long-term career. But then, the momentum started disappearing. His later releases couldn't recreate the impact of his first run, and his mainstream presence became much smaller. Then, his personal life and legal problems added even more pressure. In 2022, Fetty Wap was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to conspiracy to distribute cocaine.
Sentenced to 6 years in prison, his sentence is for his role in a drug trafficking conspiracy that took place in parts of Long Island and New Jersey.
For an artist who had once been one of the biggest new stars in music, it was a shocking fall. His career wasn't necessarily over, but the mainstream spotlight that once followed him everywhere was gone. And that's what made Fetty's story so surprising. He didn't disappear because people forgot about Trap Queen. He disappeared because the career momentum became almost impossible to recreate. Desiigner. Desiigner had one of the biggest breakout moments of the 2000s. In 2015, Panda exploded. The song became a massive hit, and even Kanye West used it on The Life of Pablo. Then, Desiigner's version reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Think about that. A relatively new rapper with one song had suddenly reached the top of the charts. He had the attention, he had the label, and he had the hit. But after Panda, something changed. Desiigner struggled to create another song with the same cultural impact. He released more music, but nothing came close to the level of Panda. Eventually, his mainstream visibility dropped. In 2019, he left Kanye West's GOOD music label and continued releasing music independently, but the biggest surprise was how quickly the public moved on. The rapper who once had one of the biggest songs in the world was suddenly much harder to find on the mainstream charts, and that's one of hip-hop's harshest realities. A massive hit can introduce you to the world, but one hit doesn't automatically create a lasting career. Mims. In 2007, Mims released a song that seemed impossible to escape, This Is Why I'm Hot. The track became a huge commercial success and reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Suddenly, Mims was one of the most recognizable rappers in America. His debut album, Music Is My Savior, also made a strong chart debut, but the problem was, how do you follow a song that massive? Mims released more music, but nothing reached the same level as This Is Why I'm Hot, and eventually, his mainstream presence faded. He didn't completely stop making music, but he was no longer appearing everywhere like he had during his breakout. For casual fans, it almost felt like he disappeared. But Mims later continued working in music, including songwriting and production. His story is another example of how difficult it is to turn one viral moment into a decade-long mainstream career. Shyne. Shyne's story is completely different. In the early 2000s, he was being positioned as one of hip-hop's next major stars. His debut album, Shyne, was commercially successful, and he was closely connected to Bad Boy Records and Sean Diddy Combs. But then, his entire life changed. In 2001, Shyne was convicted in connection with a nightclub shooting in New York. He was sentenced to prison and spent years behind bars.
So whatever policies you believe in, you have to fight for it. And sometimes you might have a temporary loss. I had a loss of 10 years, incarceration, for something that I didn't do. I was defending a friend, and a friend turned around and said, hey, it was him. And it wasn't me, it was, according to the witnesses, One witness said Diddy shot him.
While he was incarcerated, hip-hop completely changed. New artists emerged, new sounds became popular, and the industry moved forward without him. By the time Shyne was released, the version of hip-hop that had made him famous was already different. He eventually moved to Belize and became involved in politics. In fact, Shyne eventually became a major political figure in Belize, so technically, he didn't simply disappear, he changed careers. But for hip-hop fans, it was still shocking. A rapper who once looked like he could become a major star had gone from recording music to working in government. Lord Tariq and Peter Gunz. And finally, there's one of the most interesting one-hit stories in hip-hop. Lord Tariq and Peter Gunz. In 1997, the duo released Deja Vu, Uptown Baby. The song became a huge hit and reached number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was one of the biggest rap songs of its time. But the duo couldn't turn that success into a long-lasting mainstream career. Their debut album received attention, but their run together didn't last. Lord Tariq eventually stepped away from the spotlight, while Peter Gunz remained more visible through television, radio, and entertainment. So again, it wasn't really that both men vanished. Instead, got the rap career people expected, never became the long-term superstar run many imagined, and that's what connects all 5 stories. Fetty Wap had Trap Queen, Desiigner had Panda, Mims had This Is Why I'm Hot, Shyne had the potential to become a major bad boy star before prison changed everything, and Lord Tariq and Peter Gunz had Deja Vu. They all experienced something every rapper dreams about, that moment when the entire world knows your name. But staying there is a completely different challenge, because in hip-hop, the spotlight moves fast. One year, you're everywhere. The next, fans are asking, whatever happened to them? And sometimes, the artist isn't actually gone. They're just no longer where the mainstream spotlight expects them to be. Thanks for watching.